I be feeling like I don't be doing all the way my job because of my job
Right.
type shit. So I be trying to like balance that out, like trying to like, it's like you work to receive, to gain all this success and all the good shit, but it's like, I feel like the best parents, in my opinion, is parents that don't got it all. I feel like broke parents are better than rich parents, in my opinion, because when you broke, you got way more time type shit.
Right.
So you there for like a lot of the shit. Like, yeah, gifts and shit matter, but they don't matter at the same time.
Sometimes all the kid needs is time.
Facts.
Your time.
Facts.
Something that a gift can't replace.
Facts.
We see
I be feeling.
So, fellas, what do you feel about what 21/7 said? You know, floor is yours.
Yeah, because Ruthless said Ruthless said I work hard, I grind for my future. I don't care whatever it takes. But you see, you have 21 Savage said, look, listen, um, broke parents are more better than rich parents because I think in his mind, broke parents pretty much is there for the kids. They spend time with them. They're not always on the grind. They actually there to do homework, to feed them, to clothe them, whatever the case may be. They actually rich parents. A rich parent is like Ruthless. Got to go grind and make sure I do whatever it takes to make sure my kids have the best living in life. I kind of agree with him and also disagree with him at the same time because I don't want my kids to always struggle because that's the whole purpose of me working hard now, so they won't have to struggle. But at the same time, I still want to be able to spend time with my children. Go ahead, because you guys on the panel have kids, so
Yeah,
I
it's
can
it's
speak
a
that. I don't have
balance
kids
thing,
yet.
right? So think I said this earlier about Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas. Kirk Douglas was a great actor, but Michael Douglas said his father wasn't never there because he was always looking for the next role and always focused on acting. I'm sure it's the same with Dave Chappelle. If you constantly on the road, traveling, doing comedy, we constantly see him smoking cigarettes and drinking. They on this grind to where though? You got millions of dollars and you're still trying to get more money because you're on this grind to keep getting and getting and getting and getting. And your kids can only see you on the big screen. They can barely have any time with you, right? So let's say you break it up a little bit. I'm gonna do 6 months on, 6 months off, so I can actually physically be with them. If you do the all money thing, the kids are gonna have a problem with it. If you do the poor parents thing, the kids are gonna have a problem with it. Because I mean, we could have a problem with all of it because exactly they're gonna be like, yeah, my dad was there for me, but I didn't have the new Jordans. They made fun of me at school. I had to fight all the time. Or I had the new Jordans, but I never saw my dad. It used to be that those men worked this super hard like this and died early. They'll never talk about him. They just talk about the color purple and everybody's Mister. He gonna come in and do his business and just I gotta be this slave in this marriage. Some dudes were slaves in their marriages too. They came home, gave a whole checkup, and just kept a couple dollars out to get them some cigarettes and a little bit to drink. And they passed away early. So all this stuff about you live longer when you're in a marriage, it depends on what marriage you in.
Shout out to Lord Spike for the cash out. Really do greatly appreciate it. It's for us three guys, so I will be sending to you guys shortly. Go right ahead. Shout out to Lord Spike for the cash out.
I have an opposite on that, and this was on 5150 show. Hakeem, please play this. Please play this.
Appreciate the love, Lord Spike. Shout out for you for the cash out.
I want y'all. I definitely want y'all thoughts on this because I did watch this last night and it went viral.
Because she tried to run game on me, like she was brought up by her mama. But you know what I'm saying? Instead of realizing I got away from her mama, because I don't speak to her mama, she be like, I know you hate my mama. I'm like, bitch, I ain't got time to hate nobody. Your mama was drama. Now here it is all these years later, you just like your mama. Both of y'all can kiss my motherfucking ass. I'll go make another daughter. I don't give a fuck. If you ain't good as a person, no matter who you are, I have a cutoff switch God blessed me with to say, fuck you, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck if it's my kid. My motherfucking mama, you know your daughter trying to get in touch with you? I say, oh, mama, You watch that little bitch. Ha! I brought it up because she tried to run game on me. Like she was brought up by her mom. You watch that little bitch. That bitch is brought up in this new generation where there is no honor, there is no respect thy parents, there is no the way the youngsters are brought up now, they will fuck over the mama and daddy quicker than they'll fuck over somebody in the streets. What the fuck? I don't give a fuck. If you are so hell-bent in making me a villain and saying I did you wrong, get the fuck away from me. I didn't love your mama. You just popped up on a nigga. I try to show you love. Shit, you come out here, I did all this shit for her. She was still talking shit. You watch that little bitch. That bitch is brought up in this new generation where there is.
No, that's Corey Hawthorne, the famous comedian, and he was talking about. I think that was her first child and everything, and was he suggested this situation because I believe he has a second child, which I think he's taken care of. But here's the situation of Corey Hawthorne, who makes money, and in his situation, he's trying to be there, but at the same time, the daughter was raised by the mother, and for what I'm hearing from Corey, he don't like the mother, and the mother just act like the daughter and everything. And the thing is, I'm pretty sure there wasn't no bonding with her and Corey and everything, but it got so bad that every time he see the daughter, he sees the mother, and when the dog tried to do foul stuff, he said, I ain't dealing with that stuff. I could cut it off. So what you guys got to say about this situation?
That's one
a
of
different
Corey's.
situation on this.
That's one of Corey's old jokes. That's a joke of his about it was fuck your mama and then fuck them kids. That's an old joke here. So he just revisited. Corey's stand-up is mostly about women. They try to say that Patrice O'Neal's was mostly about women, but no, he was a little bit more than that. Some people are male advocates. That's what Corey is. He's a male advocate. So no matter which way the joke goes, the man is going to win at the end of it. So a little bit of what he was saying, tongue in cheek, but when you had that kind of society, nobody cares about nothing. So I'm trying to have a relationship with this crazy woman because I know I got a child with her. So if being around her is going to be toxic and loud and violent, let me try to stay away from her, but I'm still going to try to keep some lines of communication. Same thing with the child. But if they are at a place where they don't want to work it out, you don't have to say F them, but you got to go on with your life. I don't like to stay sad. I don't like to be angry. And I don't like to stay in one place. And if every time I see you, you only got negativity, then you're a negative person. No matter the title, mom, dad, brother, son. No. We're not trying to stay there because that's what drag people down when they stay in places where it's nothing edifying there. If all you is bitter and nasty, I don't like that. Sometimes you got to deal with a little bit of bitters in life, but you don't want to have all bitters. So yeah, it's not F the kids, but don't stay there so long to where you lose yourself. People do that in relationships, and they do that no matter what the relationship. Father, son, father, daughter, husband, wife.
Man, now you going in today, man. What you drinking on? You ain't drinking wine right now? You going
I just
in.
started. This is my second glass.
You going deep. Pastor Nightish, man. God, dog. Little Rufus, you got Rufus quiet.
So
I'm gonna let Hakeem. I want to go out to Hakeem.
So me, I have a different experience, which, and I agree with where you're coming from. I guess my experience is a little bit different because I did mess up and hurt my parents' feelings. You know what I mean? I went to jail and made my mama cry, and my daddy had disowned me because it's big in my culture. When you do something, you disrespect your family's last name culturally because we come from nothing. So the only thing that Haitians really are prideful about is their name. So in the midst of all of that, I could tell you that throughout the whole midst of that, they never gave up on me. They had sent me away, I'm not gonna lie about that. They sent me away, and they still didn't give up on me. Even when my dad stopped talking to me, my mother would call me and was like, "Hey, he not messing with you, but he did send you a couple dollars." And I was freezing in the cold. And I think that for me, I say that even if I'm raising kids and they do fall off the wagon, we can never give up on them. You know what I mean? Unless if it's a life or death situation, then we need to stay apart. You know what I mean? So I do believe even a lot of young black men I come across and I look at them and I say, damn, like, you know what I mean? I see them out on the streets and I hurt for them, and I'm like, damn, it got to the point where your parents kicked you out on the street. And I'm wondering, like, what's going on? So I say to myself, I could have been the same one, but my parents didn't give up to me after I fell off the wagon. So I do think that, you know what I mean, sometimes
Larry, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think by when you see them kids out there in the street, you think the parents actually kick them out, or they just run away and say, "I don't want to deal with my parents"?
You see, it could be a little bit of both, but then I gotta assess the situation. Like, there's a particular guy I met the other day at my job, and he was like homeless, and I could tell he was roughly around 20 something, but he was very aggressive. And then he had a sledgehammer in his backpack and stuff like that. So I already knew, like, oh, he's out of it. You know what I mean? So me and him, he was coming aggressive to me. And I said, hey, bro, I could call the police on you now. You know what I mean? But I sat down and had to try to de-escalate the situation, trying to understand where he's coming from. You know what I mean? And it's easy for us to give up on these people. It's so easy. But it takes work to not give up. And I also think about that. Sometimes parents just have to wash their hands. Because you are right. There's a point in time, especially when these kids fall into gangs or sex work, and you're trying to pull them out of there, you know what I mean? You still have to do this. But then I lived around white people for quite some time, and I noticed, and I'm not saying white people don't cut off their kids, but then there's some of them who not going to stop until they get it right. And that's how I see, it for that situation.
Go ahead, Ruthless.
Well, I'm gonna have to bend the story up a little bit, right? Because this is I'll put me to sleep. Everybody's expendable in my life. Everybody's expendable. I'm the prize. But if my kids go against me in any format, I'll probably send them on their way with their mama. If they all go against me, they all got to go. Now, would I financially give something to them? Yes, because at the end of the day, it's kind of my responsibility. They're my responsibility. But y'all gonna have to be over there. I have some funds allocated to you every so often to take care of the media expenses, and don't call my phone. I won't be able to. Now my kids are treat me like a dad and respect and all that stuff. Then we cool. We're gonna have a great father-son, father-daughter relationship.
But Rufus, you only saying that. But Rufus, let me ask you a question. You only saying that because you grew up rough. You grew up rough. That's why you're talking that way.
No, because once again, there's a kumbaya society that everybody guys is. Listen, most families are divided. I've been to so many family reunions. Everybody up there talking shit about each other. So many kids are turning their back on their parents at the end of the day. Look, you go to these old folk homes, right? A lot of these kids ain't even helping their parents, don't even come visit.
I did a show about that called Displaced.
Yes.
Wow.
Then you got a lot of parents that are very judgmental about their kids. You know what I mean? That they're overly bearing. So at the end of the day, it's nice to have a family, and it is, if it's conducive to a successful pleasantry for me, and I feel like it could be exponentially great in my part of my legacy in that aspect. But if it does not work out, where my kids and my girl want to be separate from me, they all want to go against me, then it's war. All right, and I know it sounds a little Ruthless, but it is my name, right?
It
Yeah.
doesn't sound ruthless.
Yeah,
Ruthless.
it
If y'all
doesn't.
could pull up the clip from Heat, that's the diner scene with Pacino and De Niro.
Yeah.
So
No, but he's speaking truth though.
yeah,
He's
you know,
not wrong in what he's saying.
it's so fun. It's funny to me, right? Because I look at my aunties and uncles, all that faking they was doing all of years. All that faking, everybody stand together to prove to the family that we are together. Look at us, we're happy. But then behind closed doors, they was arguing like pastors, all they could stand. That's where they talk about these sexless marriages and these kids and families divided. They don't even like each other. But a lot of people faked it back in the day. Now it's just coming out, right? Kids are just. This is why the adoption rate is so high right now, right? Moms are even mothers even
You
letting
make
their kids,
too many
you know what?
points.
I can't handle
Pull
it.
him
Right?
down, somebody.
You know what I'm saying?
Too many
So
points.
in this one point, I'm just making one point about how
No, you
kids,
make 12. I'm gonna try to catch some of them when you finish.
Hey, they always go at it. Don't worry. They always go at it. This is nothing new. So I know the audience like, what's going on? They always go at it. This ain't nothing new.
so
Go
so
ahead.
at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, a man's legacy is very important to him. But that legacy has to support him too. So I'm just not gonna be in a burdened building. And we have to understand as men that to Nida's point, even though we might objectively want the American family, the happy family, we don't have to bring ourselves down to try to acquiesce to all their happiness and all their needs when we're already carrying most of the burden. All I'm asking you to do is just handle your business, show me some respect. I'm not even asking for the money back. I'm not even asking you saying you owe me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even telling my kids you owe me or my girl you owe me. This is just what I do. But if you want to go against me, either you with me or you against me. And if you're against me, then we're gonna have to go our separate ways. I digress.
Hey, Ruthless man, you speaking pretty truthful on that. I can't disagree with you on that, because I feel like there's sometimes, especially for certain family members, you got to cut away. I know in my situation with my father, I didn't meet him until I was 13, but no 12. But the thing is, it's like I never felt comfortable with the man. I had a stepdad who passed away, who's in there, who was there in my life. He passed away in 2005. But the thing is, my real biological father, I just never felt comfortable any type of way. My family was always trying to push it, trying to make it work and everything, until I'll say maybe 7-8 years ago, after my grandmother passed, we tried it one more time, and then months later it didn't work out. And then I knew that after that day didn't work out, you say, I got to cut this. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because, you don't see no improvements or anything. It's he'll like I said, he'll say something this, but the actions say something else and everything. And I had to figure. I just had to notice. And I made a decision to myself. It's like, okay, this not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out. So I had to cut it loose. Told my wife that. I told my mama that, and and right now, now that I kind of cut it off, I'm peace with that decision as well. So it's like, I don't regret what I did. And the thing is, it's like, my father, he also knows as well. So, he's on a separate life, hope he's doing well. Same thing with me, I'm on my separate life. I'm going to do well. So like I said, I agree with cutting the family off, but the thing is, it's like, there's no bad blood or anything. There's no bad blood from anything like that. Anything you've done for me in the past, I forgive you and everything. But, working it out, I don't think it's not going to work. We both know it was not going to work. So I agree with cutting family members, mother, your mom, your dad, you got siblings, if you think it's not going to work in a short term or long term, you just got to cut it loose. It could be a difficult decision, but as long as you make peace with it, it's the right decision.
But to me, a lot of people find it to be difficult to cut. That pretty much cut. I can't be very brief. I'm gonna let you go in, but cut ties with their children. I find it, to me, I don't have children yet, but I find it to be very hard because remember that's your seed. That's where you work so hard to thrive in life for. it is for that individual. But Lord Spike said something in the comment. He said, your children should be independent. But I was going to ask Lord Spike, in what age should the children be independent? Because some people have different age where the children should be independent. But to me, as a parent, I think you should never give up on your kids, even if they do the harshest crime. Find some way to be there for them. Go ahead, Hakeem.
So I hear you, and then I guess maybe for me, I don't know if maybe I may be so endowed in my faith, which has me look at it from a different perspective. Like if I call you family and we beef, or I know you're gonna ish on me, I'm still gonna have love for you. Nobody can touch you. Nobody can touch you. I'm gonna always be able to leave a door open for you to come in. And then I know that, because here's the thing. I tend to know, and this doesn't speak for everybody. I know when you have kids or you rub a person the right way, sometimes people tend to always come back after time. Time is the biggest thing for healing. Not everybody. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I just say from my experience, what I've been through in my life dealing with people and stuff like that. And when I fell down, I know family was the only one who's been there, and friends who I call family. And I beat with people who I call family, and we got back together. So I do understand sometimes, you know what I mean? Everybody's different, and we all got to live. So I still try to maybe, you know what I mean, something different in me clicked when, you know what I mean, things started to go well for me. And I said that I was going to approach life in a different situation and approach people in a different situation. Like if I meet you and we rocked for a year and we've been holding it down, you family now. If we beef, I'm always look at you family until we get it right. You know what I'm saying? Because conflict resolution is the biggest issue Black people have. As soon as we go through something, we don't go to therapy, we don't go to couples counseling, we don't even go to counseling for things that are happening amongst us as people. You know what I'm saying? We're beef and we say, hey, we'll separate instead of trying to bring the family together. White boys will beef and do not like each other, but still trying to make some things go on. You know what I mean?
I have a little pushback, Hakeem, because
Go ahead.
man, these Asian parents and these white parents cold. I don't know.
No, listen, I agree with you.
They rock.
I agree with you.
And Rufus is hogging the mic.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm
Go
saying,
ahead.
Here's what the white parents will do though. They'll send you off to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some see a lot of it depends. See, we can't speak in absolutes. So Asians, they have what they call the tiger mom, right? And they really believe in their name. You know, if you dishonor the family name, they do something they call seppuku. They stick the knife in their stomach and twist that thing. So, I mean, we can't speak in absolutes up here, and some of these people get Americanized when they get here. But yeah, I don't like this conversation when we go, well, whites and Asians and these other. No, they do the same stuff, and it's more of them. They do worse. But I want to get to feelings. As a man, right? This is two things about men. We believe in imposing our will. It's my way. You know, that's Janet Jackson father in the Control video, or Joe Jackson with the Jacksons. You know, that was supposed to be a similar to that. He was gonna make them be something. Now, in the end, all of them at some point messed around with millions of dollars, but they go, but I lost my childhood. Take my childhood if I'm gonna be a millionaire at the end of it. It depends on the person. We also talk about the lie. Do you understand the Black community that was a lie? Have you ever seen that Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin clip where she says women is in a new place right now? You go to your job and you lie to your boss and smile in his face, so he don't even know you hate him. So when you come home, do that with me. What are we doing that lie for? For the children? Maybe this ain't so perfect and rosy, but I'm going to praise you in public and have this disregard in private. We don't have to elevate our voices. We can talk about what our problems are privately. But what people want to do is not be adults ever. They want to stay in arrested development and act like children. If you see some grown people, your aunts and uncles or whoever he is, yelling in public, it's because they don't want to be adults. In real life, it ain't gonna be no happy ever after. You are gonna pass away.
Whoo, Jesus.
Man, 90s, you going in. But I
Dang,
was
bro.
want but I want dog, that was my drop. But I want to ask you, 90s, what is the right way for a parent to be actually be a parent?
And that's it. There is no absolutes. It's nuances. It's the dynamic. Listen, I know some poor dudes that messed up, go back and forth to jail all the time, barely be around their kids, but their kids love they stinking draws. And I know some dudes that's been there the whole time, and done everything for their kids, and their kids call them by their first name.
Wow.
What, John? So it depends on the individual. That's what I mean by feelings. It's how you interpret the interaction between y'all. Like we grew up with the boomers. So I was a latchkey kid. I came home to nobody being there because everybody going out to get it. I at work and they doing this and this and this and this. So I'm coming home to nobody there. Just come in the house, do my homework, whatever, make my own food, do whatever. It's super young, 10 to 14. So I said, I'm going to be there for my kids because I'm looking at the Cosby Show and Leave It to Beaver and the Courtships of Eddie Father. I'm going to be this great dad. They called, when I was doing this stuff, that love bombing. No, you're not doing that for me. You're doing that for you. That's what Jada Pinkett said to Will Smith when he gave her this elaborate reunion party or marriage thing. I didn't ask for all that. That's not what I wanted. You did that for you. But that's how men do. We trying to do what we think is best. Where I get all this from? My grandmother, my mother. Wouldn't even put the seat down. And so I clean the toilet in the bottom. You're not going to see no piss stains. I'm doing all this. Well, that's woman work. That's a bunch of different standards and tradition and other. No, let's do whatever it takes to make it work. And at the end of the day, it can still all fail.
So
it ain't no great parent.
So I'm gonna say this to Savage, 21 Savage's point, right? Because he's saying that rich parents could be better, and to broke parents are better than rich parents, right? But Nadi's made a very good point. It's subjective. It depends what the kids want. Right? If you got some greedy kids, right, they're gonna let their rich parent. Oh hell no, right? If you got some kids who they just like simple things, right? They cool with parents. They don't need much. You know, as long as they got the bare minimum of their needs, they're good. But once again, it's all subjective on the kid. So we have to understand that kids they have a mindset of their own. They develop their own little world. They are young adults. They got their thing. What they subscribe to and what they aspire to, you can only hope that, they take your advice and go with it, but that's all you can hope for. But other than that, it doesn't really matter. It just depends. It just depends on what that kid aspires to. So I have to disagree with him on that, and I also disagree with what he said. What he said, the comedian, right? He was talking about how
Corey Holcomb.
Yeah, I agree with him that you have to worry about your mental. Men, this is what we got. We got to start putting each other first sometime. Not I say all the time, because these women and children show putting themselves first. Kids got their hands out. The women got their hands out. Everybody got their hands out, but they're not thinking about our mental health. So we have to have structure, and we got to make time for our little things to say, you know what, this is us, and y'all going to have to accept this shit.
And there's consequences that come with that.
That's fine.
Yeah. As a man, yeah, and that's the other thing.
Yeah.
As a man, there's going to be consequences to the choices that you make. And if you okay with dealing with them, then you're okay with dealing with it. My kids are grown. They still play little goofy games, whatever else, but they still my children. One of my kids said something the other day. I said, oh, no. I'm going to love you till my heart stop beating, but I'm not going to kiss your ass. It's a difference. What you asking for is somebody to kiss your ass. That ain't going to happen. But I'm going to always love you as long as I'm alive. But that doesn't mean I acquiesce to your whims. You're not making smart decisions. And when should you be thinking somebody should be independent? I'm telling my kids when they're 10, 11 years old, you got an allowance, you got this much money. Once you take this money, because when I was younger, we had collect bottles, wash cars, mow lawns, do all this stuff. You have an allowance. Once you take some of that money that is being given to you and that you is now making you entitled, and make some money with it. Get a bunch of all white shoes, get some gold spray paint, spray that on there, write some purple writing on it, and sell them shoes online. Learn how to do something early. It ain't no hustling people no more. When I was younger, the shoe shine man wasn't just shining your shoes. He's trying to sell your newspaper, give you some coffee, give you some cloths to keep your shoes shine. He's trying to make more money. You used to be you go into a job and you learn the job and then become an entrepreneur. Now people gonna work at this job for 30 or 40 years. No, we in present time. Like folks was talking. I just had a car hit the damn house the other day. Family, we got these Facebook groups and all this other stuff. Hey y'all, this happened. Folks are like, well, what can we do? That's a goofy question to me. Because if you'd have told me that it happened to you, I'd be over there trying to get the debris out your front yard. I'd be doing something versus asking a question. So a lot of this stuff is a facade. It's not real. It's like in the Planet of the Apes. They didn't understand it. No, this is still Earth, and the Forbidden Zone was a subway with the white folks under there. They got hit with that explosion that they let go off. They the ones that did it. That's why Charleston Heston came back and said, damn you human beings. We gonna keep blowing each other. The Big Bang is us messing up, and we'll start right back over from the beginning.
You muted.
I can't. You muted. You muted. You muted yourself.
Nidus, was you referencing Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
One of my favorite.
Wow.
That was he telling it classic movie.
No, but I want to tell you, Night is speaking truth. Well, everybody's speaking truth on this panel today. Yeah, Jordan had to go. He had an emergency to take care of, so he's gone for the day. But he sent his love and graces to you guys. Yeah, but Night is speaking some truth. But I want to ask Night is our job and Ruthless, and of course I can. Is our job the one to be the parent to train our kids so they won't depart from us, and that's our job and our duties as parents?
No.
You say no.
No. Your job is to do what's inside your heart that you think is best for you. So if that is trying to keep them there, then it's that. Or if that is trying to teach them early to be men and women, then it's that. So in that type of dynamic, do you have your daughter serving her brothers, making dinner for them or whatever else? Do you have your sons understand that defend your sister no matter what? Protect her at all costs? This stuff you can teach them when they babies. And folks is just growing up. They're not raising kids, they're maintaining them. So I got the bills paid, you got the roof over your head, you got the clothes on your back, but I don't barely talk to you. I don't know what's going on with you today. I don't know who your friends are. I ain't met the parents of none of your friends.
Well, we are in a life has evolved, right? So a lot of things are a lot more expensive. So a lot of people work a lot more hours. So it's most families who, if you're not in a well-to-do situation, you have to go work them 8 to 10 hours, which when you get back, you got to cook, you're tired. So yeah, of course, the significance of the parents have left the household because it's a lot more to fight for resources. But at the same time, right, you can only do the best you can do. Like you said, to your first point, we can only do the best that we do. So if a kid is spoiled and rotten, then he's just going to have to learn one thing, and one thing for sure, you got to be a part of this program.
Well, right? Yeah, I love that. I love that part right there. The program.
Yes.
What do folks' program be? Because I see things out here that people call families. When do you start having responsibilities for these babies? Do they make up their beds? Do they brush their teeth? Do they take that garbage can out in the morning? Are they keeping that lawn at 3 inches? What are they doing early once they're capable of it? Because we all should be functioning as a whole family. It shouldn't be all on mom or all on dad. It should be on the whole family all together. But what I keep hearing people say is the kids come first and I need the rest of my femininity and it's all on you, buddy. That's not no marriage. That ain't no family.
No, but now you have other coaches who they train their kids at the age of 7 to be successful in life.
Yeah.
Why can't we not do the same principle?
Yeah, you do the same thing.
We do the same thing too, but differently, right? We do it differently. We lead by example. right?
Okay,
So,
I get what you're saying.
you
Okay.
know what I mean? So when you go to work every day, you come home, you putting food on the table, you're making sure that, okay, I'll help you with your homework when I can. All those things are leading by example because we're not teachers. That's why they got school, right?
But Ruthless, are you Fences or are you the Cosby Show?
Well,
Fences, that's Denzel saying I'm
Whoa.
paying all the
Wow,
bills and doing X, Y,
powerful
and Z.
question.
I got to tell you,
That's
I
a
love
good
you.
question.
Or are you
That's
the
a good
Cosby
question.
Show saying, listen, this is what we're gonna do with you, Theo. You
Well-
want to be an adult today, so now we gonna make this like an actual life. Theo, we're gonna give you $500. You got to pay your rent, do X, Y, and Z. Your little sister's gonna be your landlord and whatever else. That's the episode of the Cosby Show. So which one are you? Are you Fences or are you the Cosby Show?
So because a single parent is such a large number, it's not as clean cut as that, right? Because the Cosby Show was two parent, right? Now we're speaking to a different generation.